Welcome to Bear With Us, the podcast where two women bravely explore the High Line.
One charming town and quirky event at a time.
We're here for the people, the stories, and the small moments that make this place special.
And don't worry, zero bears.
Probably.
Welcome back to Bear With Us, a podcast from Paw Development, where we share the people, places, and projects that make North Central Montana so special. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Julia. Today, we're excited to introduce someone new to the Bear Paw team, someone who's already diving into one of our region's most important industries, food and agriculture.
That's right. We're joined by Amy Revious, Paw Development's new Food and Ag Development Director. Amy's bringing her passion for rural community hands-on experience to help support and grow local food and ag across our 5-county region.
We're going to chat with Amy about her background and what drew her to this role, the opportunities she sees in local agriculture, and how she plans to help producers and entrepreneurs turn their ideas into reality.
Amy, we're so glad you're here. Welcome to Bear With Us.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Before we get into the serious stuff, we have our signature question. That's a bear question. What kind of bear do you think would make the best farmer?
The best farming bear. So let's see. I'm gonna go with a black bear just because they're fun, they're easy. I could see somebody training one day, and then it could pull a little cart. Like it could almost be like a dog,
That's smart.
And they're not terribly aggressive.
right?
Yeah, so.
Just aggressive enough to keep, the other critters away.
Right.
I would be a little concerned if I drove by a farm and I saw a bear out there, like, pulling the what are those called? That,
Plow?
Plow, yeah. You would definitely look twice. In fact, that would be a great opportunity for some agritourism. Get some tickets to watch the bear plow.
circus and agriculture.
Now that I'm thinking about it, though, I'd be worried the bear would eat the crops.
That's fair. Well, I mean, you're not a honey farmer.
I think only cartoon bears.
Those are the only bears I wanna run into.
Oh, that's fair. So, Amy, just to start off, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Where are you from? What brought you to Haver? Things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I grew up in Bozeman, Montana, back when Bozeman was about the size of Haver. Back when it was still part of Montana and is not quite the Los Angeles that it is today. Um, my husband and I moved up here about a year ago. He was fortunate enough to get a job with the HRDC up here, and we really just needed a break from kind of how busy Bozeman has become, and wanted to go back to our roots, back to what feels comfortable, and Haver is just the perfect fit for that.
So, you grew up in Bozeman. I'm assuming I'm outnumbered here.
Go Bobcat.
Go Bobcats!
Go, Grizz.
To be fair, I've been outnumbered podcast-wise, so
I think all in all, there's been more Grizz fans on this podcast. So,
But not
I will give you
today.
this one.
Well, we're maybe smaller, but we're mighty. What can we say?
Yeah, we are very mighty. So, where did you go to high school? Did you go to college? Tell us a little bit about your family.
Yeah, so we have one son. He is actually a senior in high school. He's going to Haver. I went to high school in Bozeman, so I spent my entire childhood there. So grew up, went to the Hawthorne School, I was a Hawk. So, yep, my twin sister did all the sports.
You have a twin sister?
I have a twin sister.
I did not know this about you.
That's so fun.
Right? She was definitely the sporty twin. She did all the fun sports stuff. I was actually into more music and did a lot more of the arts and drama stuff.
I love that.
You guys identical twins or fraternal?
We are fraternal, although you could put me, my older sister, my twin, and my mom in a room, and then we would all look the same, and nobody would know who's who.
Did you pull
Wow.
any twin shenanigans growing up where you would sit in on each other's classes or something and try to trick people?
So we didn't end up doing that because we were always the ones who were like, no, I'm not a twin. I'm different.
I am my own person.
Exactly. Which is funny because we always had similar interests, but then we had to feign that we didn't have the same interests. So it was almost like whoever got there first got to claim it.
That is so funny. I had a vice principal in high school, and of course, I've got a bajillion siblings. And when I introduced myself to him, I was like, "Oh, I'm so and so's sister," and he goes, "No, what's your name?" And I was like, I'm Julia. He's like, "Yeah, you're Julia. You're your own person." I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I am."
I was the coolest one of my siblings, so they were always
That's
Sarah's
fair.
brother or Sarah's sister. And,
Nice.
what can I say? Pretty awesome.
So, what did you do before joining AirPod Development, and how do you think that experience prepared you for this new role?
Oh goodness. So, first of all, I think 3 days after I graduated high school, I went straight into the military. Yep. It was super fun. It was. Didn't actually mean for it to be so fast, just because those were how the dates lined up. The funny thing about that too is that because of how fast I was going and deploying, my sister had to or she was getting married, so she ended up getting married on my graduation date, so we had to split that date. My mom was like,
Holy
"Whoop, sorry."
What is this?
I know. Look, we try. We're not necessarily best at organizing, I guess, but we got really good. Her wedding was beautiful, and we got to make it to all the parties and graduation stuff, so it ended up working out really well, and all of our extended family could go too. It was fun.
You were in
Um,
the military, though?
I
Tell
was
us a
in the
little bit about
military.
that.
Well, it was super fun. I was with the 189th in, Montana, that's the helicopter unit. So I refueled helicopters and, I did deploy to Iraq, which was super fun. I had pink aviators, which I was not supposed to wear, but I just sat there and hit on generals because I'm, like, 19 at the time.
what else is there to do, right?
Exactly. And a trusty water gun. It was fantastic. Let's see, after that, went to college, got married, to my best friend at the time, although, we met in high school, and let me tell you, I hated him so much.
In high school
In high school.
or currently?
Back in the day. I love no, we were best frenemies in high school, and then just kinda grew from there. So I started off really with the school district. I was paraprofessional for a few years. It was really fun. I did a lot of after school. I was not a career that I'd ever thought I'd go into, but from that, I kinda decided, I was like, "Do I wanna go not more nonprofit, or do I wanna go more school?" So I had actually chosen nonprofit. Did the first 5 years of my career with HRDC in Bozeman. So I was helping a lot with I did the energy program. So a lot with weatherization, which is very similar to some of the other grants that we have.
Yeah, I was gonna say that is a wonderful background to have for the current job right now. That's amazing.
Right? Well, and just being able to see the back end and do all the reporting and see how it all fits together. And like the REAP program, which is one of the grants that we help administer, is so close to weatherization. So that's just a natural fit for me. I was like, "Oh, I know this."
So cool.
After HRDC, I went to United Way. So, when I was with the school district, part of my job was with United Way, so it was a bit of a homecoming, and I worked a little bit with their grants, so we would, as United Way, would give out grants to the community, so I was able to do that, so I've done the other side of grants writing, but I also really got to go back to after school program and working with that, so I did the programming all the programming for that for another 5 years, actually. So I ran all the after schools, worked with the school districts, we did the hiring, we made the curriculum, we did all the reporting, we did grant writing, all of it. So, honestly, there's really nothing that I haven't done from HR to grant writing to actually working with kids to working with staff, did it all.
Strange.
Well, yeah, and, like, Julie and I have talked in the past when we both kind of fell into community development work. I think grant writing for us was the most daunting thing to,
For
start
sure.
to tackle, and sounds like you've already been doing it for a while now.
Yeah, and you're not wrong, it is hard to tackle, and even these days, I'm like, "Okay, so I need to organize myself because I don't wanna miss anything."
So you have been in Havre for how long now?
Actually, a year. Well, my husband moved up a year. I was back and forth with Bozeman until around February and March.
Oh,
That's when
okay.
I yep, because he got the job up here, and then I wanted to close up my shop, get that passed on, and before I moved up.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
what has been your first impression of Havre and the surrounding areas?
People are so friendly and slower, which is really nice because most of the time when you're in Bozeman, they are rushing you out of the door or they have opinions about something. Rarely do you ever just like get to sit somewhere or like talk with someone. That has just been so nice. And there's space here.
That there is.
There is a lot more space.
Have you found any local haunts or places you enjoy?
So, absolutely love the cocktails over at, uh, the Tot place. I'm running a blank on the name.
Oh, 40 Below.
40 Below.
Yeah, the top place.
Their staff are so much fun, and you can just tell how clever and creative they are, so that's just been a real joy. Uh, the coffee place over here,
Beaver Creek Park.
Beaver yep,
Love that.
mhm,
We are big fans of Beaver Creek Park.
for good reason, they are
They
awesome.
are, and they're one of our clients here at Bear Paw, and so we got to, see that building go from start to finish, and see it gut it all out and then build everything, and, he is amazing.
He's a
Brian
peach, yeah.
is the nicest person ever. Their coffee's amazing, all of their drinks are amazing, their food is great, and if you ever get a chance to eat his, catered meals,
Oh my good.
take that chance.
We had an event there and he catered it, and I wanted thirds.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was
delicious.
phenomenal. Everyone was eating just in, like, silence because it was like, "Oh, so good."
Well, and I'm a huge coffee everything,
Yeah.
like, as you can not see because 'cause you're listening to me, but I have another cup of coffee, and it's in the afternoon.
It is 2:30.
It is 2:30,
I would be up all night.
right? But it was so nice to just because I walked right into that coffee shop, and I just looked around, and I was like, "This is home. This is
Yes.
my base now."
Oh, I love that. Oh, we're so glad to have you. We also love Haver. Sarah someday will move here, and she's gonna love it too.
She just wants to be with us and have her.
Yeah.
So
So, what inspired you to apply for this position here at Bear Paw?
so I did a little bit of agriculture. Well, I was in 4-H when I was really young, and so I absolutely got to see and play around with all the animals and a little bit with the agriculture. Although I don't think you can really call that in Bozeman even at the time. But it was something that I haven't really had a lot of time to dab or to jump into, but the work just sounded so much fun. It was something a little bit different, and I knew it was something that I could really do and get, like, really into.
I love that. I find, the food and agriculture department to be so fascinating. I just don't know enough about it to work in that, but the little bit I have helped with here and there has just been so much fun, and the people are wonderful.
I, for one, was very pleased when you came aboard,
Mhm.
as our coworker Joe and I were kind of manning the ship for the Food and Ag Development Center, and it's a lot. It's a lot that you are signing up for.
It
Um,
is, and
it's fun, it's
thank you for
great.
doing that.
But I think the most important question that Julie and I have since you have started at Bear Paw, is who are your 2 favorite coworkers now? Go.
Oh, Sarah and I, that was so nice of
Aw,
you.
sweet. Yeah. That's Sarah and Julie, obvious I refuse to answer that question, and that's a trap.
That's what Bear With Us is all about, bear traps.
I love it.
Whoa! But no, seriously, everybody here has just been so much fun, so warm, so welcoming, and just really fun to hang out with.
Hey, well, we
We
like
are a
having
hoot.
you here.
Yeah.
We are a lot of fun.
No, what can I say?
Yep. Everybody should be jealous they're not working here.
So you serve a huge, wide range of businesses and producers as the Ag Development Center Director all across North Central Montana. So how would you describe your role in supporting them?
So it varies. I haven't been here long, but I've already seen quite a range of what I can do and what I can help with. It goes from just keeping track of what the upcoming opportunities are and emailing it to some of our partners. And sometimes that's enough. And, that they find those opportunities and they know exactly what they're doing. Other times it's, you know, walking through with a client, looking to see exactly what they have, what's available, and walking them through the process just to help them get the grants that they need. And other times it's really, you know, getting in hands on, going and seeing somebody and seeing what they do, bringing up opportunities, saying, hey, you know, I see this. This might be a great opportunity for REAP. So is that something you're interested in applying for? Walking them through just what that would look like and where we go from there.
And something with the Food and Ag Development Center, we're going to call it the FADC. You
Yeah.
guys are going to hear that a lot. That's just what we call it here. But beyond just our area in north central Montana, there's an FADC network statewide. There are 11 centers throughout Montana. Can you talk a little bit about how I know firsthand, but I want your perspective as well, how supportive and how important that network is of professionals that are working in this field?
I'm going to use an example for this because one of the first things I wanted to do was set up an opportunity for all of our food and ag, our farmers and our ranchers to get in touch with people who are actually bringing the grants so they could ask them directly for their questions. So I got this set up and for trying to think of the for the REAP grant,
Which is
which
the
is
rural
which is the Rural Energy Assistance. I don't remember the
program.
whole acronym, but it is there to help with you know, when your business needs some updates, things to make it more energy efficient. And if you have any questions, please contact Paw Development. I will be very happy to answer anything for you. But one of the problems I ran into was with the shutdown, my presenter actually was not able to present anymore because he was a federal worker. Well, Carl, who is a FADC director at one of our other um, outlets, just organizations, exactly. He not only stepped up, but he made a full presentation. He was there to answer questions, and he did it within days. And it was never an issue. It was thank you so much for letting me know you had this issue. I will do anything I can to help.
That's very awesome. And I think it's wonderful having so many different people at like the different sister organizations to be able to reach out to and ask what they're doing. And what is that saying that copying somebody's
Rip off and repeat.
yeah, rip
Oh,
off
you
and
do that
repeat.
too. Oh, yeah. There's
Yeah.
no sense doing the same thing twice. And that's what I love about like the FADC network and any other thing in economic development is we serve our own regions. So it's really not competitive. Like we're here to help each other. We're here to give each other whatever advice or resources we have. And I noticed that, when I've stepped in for the FADC a couple of times when there's been a gap in staffing. Um, and I don't know anything about farming or ag or anything. So it was so nice to be able to reach out and know that these people that are doing the same thing, we're here to help.
Yeah. So actually you brought up something that I was just thinking about. Whenever I hear the words food and ag development center, my brain sticks on ag. I'm like, oh, she works with farmers, only farmers. But that's not true, right? That
No, not
that
at all.
food is a huge component of it, and agriculture goes so much further than farmers. So can you, talk about the types of people and businesses, that you work with?
So thank you for that question. I love that because you're right. So we have had a lot of farmers, and but it's not just that. We've worked with a lot of butcher shops. Um, we're currently working with a community garden in Havre to help them get some funding. Because it's not like you said. I mean, it's gardening, but it's also some restaurants if they're using local foods. It's pretty much what our goal is to try to help anybody who's involved with food and agriculture in Montana. Kind of expand and do more and see the different, avenues in which they can take their business.
And to try to keep their business in state. We want these Montana resources to stay in Montana if possible and really build our state economy through them.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Well, I think, the stat these days is that Montana actually, 3% or less than 3% of the food that's actually grown here actually stays here.
which is crazy because, what is it that 7 per or no, when you recycle, money in your own community, it comes back 7 times, basically, and so we're throwing 97% of that 7 times out the window.
Yep, sure are.
I mean, it's going into another
That's
state.
math I can't even do.
Or are you unwilling to do? That's
A
just what I
computer
am.
could.
Maybe my math doesn't make sense, but that's a lot of, economic development
Stimulation,
and
yeah.
stimulation that is leaving Montana and specifically leaving our small communities that need that drive.
Well, the nice thing too is our state has identified this as a problem. So there's going to be a lot of resources that are thrown at helping us keep what we have grown and what we produce here. So anybody listening to this, seriously, reach out to us. Like I said, there's going to be resources and we want to help you. We want to get that money out and we want it to stay here.
Yeah, I love that.
And to help the citizens of Montana. I mean, just from, a census or a demographic perspective, a lot of our areas in rural Montana, and especially in our 5 county region, are designated as food deserts where they don't have access to regular grocery stores. If there was a disruption, if it comes to like, weather or government shutdown or whatever, their supply could be limited due to that. And
Mhm.
it could cause potential like catastrophic consequences.
Absolutely. And that kind of goes into food security too. I think they say 1 out of every 10 Montanans go hungry. And we're a state that grows food. I mean,
A lot of
a
food.
lot of food. So the FADC here especially, we're gonna be trying to do a lot with grants and loans, but on top of that, different avenues too. Like we're gonna be trying to bring farm to school back into our area so we can feed kids and teach kids about, the healthy foods and that they can be delicious along with being healthy. And that, it doesn't necessarily mean that if you're buying local food, that it's gonna be more expensive.
Mhm.
I don't know about you guys, but I've gone to the butcher shop here recently, and it's cheaper than Walmart.
Oh, it really is,
It's
and
so much better.
even Stokes where they cut their own meat is cheaper. Local is just it's better and now cheaper when this market. I mean,
Right?
this has gotten wild.
In a good way.
Yeah,
Yay, finally wild that's working out for us.
keeping it local a lot easier. Um, that's not something we've seen ever in the past. So you're typically pay upcharged for staying local. So not anymore, people. What's been the biggest learning curve or surprise so far as you've gotten started in this job?
Well, I kinda thought this would be the case, but just how wonderful the the, um, the farms and the ranchers and the businesses are here. You know, people here are so resourceful because, there isn't necessarily a lot of funds, but, I've talked with butcher shops. They're like, well, I have this trailer that's not selling, and these are the projects that I want to do because I have this resource. So that thinking outside the box, being clever, trying to find new ways to do wonderful things, that is not
Not
a
a surprise,
surprise,
but
but definitely something I was hoping to find and definitely
yeah.
the most exciting thing.
Yeah, I definitely think that is a true Highline spirit is resourceful and creative.
Doing whatever you can to keep the farm in the family. I mean,
Yes. Oh,
I
that's
am
huge.
surprised how there's such a lack of commercialized farming, and ag out here. People are very resistant to it. They want to have the family farms,
Oh, we are staunch family farm up here.
and that's something you don't see in other areas of the country. I
Mm-mm.
mean, where I'm from in Illinois, it's more commercialized anymore.
Yeah. And
And
I think that that's something that keeps the prices down. Like local foods and those local farms are really what balances out big corporations. So the more we can support them, the better off Montana will be.
and that's really what your job is all about. I mean, we're not you're not looking at helping the huge producers that have a different facility in every state. You're looking at those family farms. You're looking at the family restaurants, all of these locally owned and operated places that, with just a little bit of a leg up, can do so much.
Or just an introduction to what resources are out there.
Yeah.
The average person may not know.
And to show them that there's a network of other people that are in their same boat that they can rely on and band together with.
Mhm.
I think that's really helpful.
And then also to introduce them to more of the community and the community needs and the community to them, be that bridge so that, they're seeing opportunities even more and we're seeing more opportunities to use them.
So, I mean, I know you're just getting started, so we're not going to put you on the spot too much.
Thank you.
But we are going to put you on the spot. Can you maybe share with us some projects or things coming up in the next few months that I know you've been brainstorming? I know you've been got a few things in your back pocket. Can you kind of share some things that you're excited about?
Like I said, I'm working really closely to bring farm to school back. I know that's something that our community has expressed a lot of interest in, and the state has the program and the money, so we're going to do it.
Can you explain a little bit about what Farm to School is?
Farm to School is an absolutely wonderful program. So there's a couple of different things you can do with it. One is how it stands right now is that farmers and ranchers can donate produce and like a cow or a pig or something, have it butchered, and it can go to the schools and it helps feed those kids. The school does a wonderful job of getting the advertisement out there and letting the community know, like, hey, this farm, this is the reason why these kids can eat local. On top of that, they do an education piece. So that you can take the farmers and the ranchers, have them come in, work with kids, like, right there, teach them and show them the different things that they can do. I think it's like with food, cooking, and, I saw one time when I was back at Bozeman, we had farmers teach how to paint with beets.
Oh,
How very Dwight
cool.
Schrute.
It was so cool.
That is very Dwight Schrute.
Right? Well, they've got these beautiful painted pictures with beets, and I was like, "This is exactly what, like, well, those kids will remember."
That is really, really neat. Well, I was thinking, how interesting it would have been when I was in school and taking like home ec classes. We learned a lot. But I think something that I wish I would have learned is like how to like cut a fish.
Mhm.
How do you fillet a fish?
Right?
I do
You
not
actually
know.
learned things. We just like made monkey bread and watched movies in my home.
No, we look. Okay,
That's why I'm a really bad homemaker.
I've been cooking since I was early childhood. So I didn't learn a ton, but I did have a lot of fun, and I did see where people could have learned. We did some really fun things. We did a lot of cake baking, and I did learn how to make biscuits. That was pretty sweet. Um, but I think that would have been really interesting to like learn how to fillet a fish, or I hate to even say this, but I don't know how to properly cut up a chicken.
Well, I massacre it.
It's
A massacre.
horrible.
It tastes good.
Mhm,
Right?
should.
I massacre it.
It does not look pretty.
Oh no.
Thank God for YouTube. That's the only reason I ever figured out, "Oh, yeah, you can split these things open."
Yeah, I the first time I butterflied a chicken, I was like, "Whoa, okay,
What
that's
is this
sweet."
sorcery?
Yeah,
Right?
but having to, carve a chicken or even a turkey, like, no one taught me how to do that. I That's why I'm not in charge of Thanksgiving, but I digress. I think that would be really interesting to see, that, like, educational component because, eating out and those types of things have gotten very expensive, and I think that eating at home and eating fresh things, not only is it healthy, but it's probably gonna end up being more cost effective. And I think having, people understand that it's not as daunting as it looks, and just learning those simple little tasks would be so interesting.
Well, and this might be a Bozeman thing, not necessarily a Havre thing. I'm new to the community, so I don't know. But I know in Bozeman, a lot of those kids had no idea you could make a cake that didn't come from a box. So being able to sit down and say, "Hey, look how easy this is. You get these ingredients, it's pretty much the same process. Now you've made your own cake."
You're
That's
playing fast and loose with the word easy. I can cook. I can cook. I will say that.
Sarah does
But
not like to bake.
I do not like proper measurements. I like to just season things until the angels tell me to stop. So I am not good at baking.
That just means that you are, in fact, a good cook. You are the artist cooker, not the science cooker.
It is funny though because, I've actually learned a lot about the whole Betty Crocker invention, because that's really what brought up, in boxed dishes like that, and at the time, that was just revolutionary, and now we're like, "Oh, we actually still need to know how to make that."
Right?
So when they're not available.
Goodness. I
Mhm.
have to ask though, you were out of the office the other day and your business cards came in. So anybody who doesn't know, my office is on the main floor and Amy and Julie's offices are on the top floor. So I, made a road trip and ventured upstairs to take your business cards to your office. I'm going to need you to tell me what this big bucket of honey is doing on your desk.
Oh, right?
All
Oh, so this is really cool. So the states is doing a little competition between a couple other different states to see to get the word out and to eat locally. So we're gonna do a really fun activity where I'm gonna get together with the Head Starts and with the Boys and Girls Club here, and we're gonna make honey treats with those kids. Big bucket of honey is actually from one of our local producers down in Fort Benton. It was completely donated. They are the biggest sweethearts. If you guys need honey, Fort Benton is your place.
That's amazing. We'll link them in the description below, so if anybody wants to go check them out.
Are you gonna make honey treats for your office too?
Well, I imagine you guys have to
You
try
have to
them.
practice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like ginger honey snacks and some honey sticks, and we'll do maybe some banana bread without sugar and just
Ooh.
use honey.
I have the best honey snack. You get a spoon and you dip it in the honey, and then you eat it.
That's my favorite too.
That is innovative.
Groundbreaking. I love honey, especially fresh honey. Oh,
Did you know that if you get local honey, it is supposed to help you with seasonal allergies?
yes, and
Wonderful. Sorry.
I didn't know that until we moved up here from Wyoming, and, we ate so much honey in Wyoming. There's a place in Lovell called Queen Bee Honey, and phenomenal honey, absolutely phenomenal. And then when we came up here and I tried local honey up here, I got the worst allergies ever because I was not used to it. But it was what helped us all acclimate to the terrible springs until I had a kid and then my allergies came back. But that's neither here nor there. Maybe I need to eat more honey.
I mean, any excuse to eat honey,
Yeah,
right?
100%.
I am a fortunate one that does not suffer from seasonal allergies. I don't know why I was blessed with such a superpower, but
I don't know if we can be friends.
I know I just don't. But I heard that and I was like, that is, I mean, it makes sense. You know, they're
Mhm.
pollinating, and then that's how they're making it. But I was like, that's just amazing. Like, just every morning have some honey on some toast,
Yeah.
and that's better than a Claritin.
And it's a natural, like, antibiotic, and yeah, honey's got amazing properties to it,
And it's delicious.
and it's delicious, and it doesn't mold, it doesn't go bad unless you get something in it. Close it up so the ants don't get it, but it's
Save the honeybees.
wonderful. Okay, so what trends or opportunities do you see emerging up here in Montana's food and ag sector right now? Is there anything that you see in
Agritourism.
Ooh, tell us about it.
Agritourism.
Well, I think this is gonna be the next trend, especially for our area. So we have so many creative farmers and ranchers. We've gone over this. I don't know if you guys have heard this podcast or at least the last however long. There's so many creative individuals who do some really amazing things. So I think the opportunity to share them with the community, especially this is an outgoing community, they wanna know what's going on. So I've seen some really interesting things. I've seen flower businesses who are open on Saturdays for an open pick where you can go and buy a vase and fill it with flowers.
I love
I
that.
want to go to there.
I want to go there
I
again
want
too.
to go to there.
But I know that we do have some flower farms in the area, so there's opportunities for some of this, farm to table dinners where, people can buy a seat at a table and have 100% Montana grown food. Plus, taking, trips to farms, seeing kind of what it all looks like. These are great opportunities for our farmers and ranchers and agriculturals because you're bringing in money for things that are not necessarily your product or how you envision your product, but then the community gets to have a better idea of what you do and see you in your element, and it just brings everybody closer.
Now, a
Yeah.
brilliant idea just popped into my head, and I'm going to put you on the spot and share it um, for everybody listening. To kick that off, because I love this idea, we have the resources here where you could have like an agritourism kickoff event of sorts. We have a space. Montana Style Events is a local thing, and they've got all that. And if you got enough like producers and stuff that wanted to donate their their items or whatever to see how this goes and make like a farm to table dinner. We could have flowers decorating from the flower farm that all sorts of different things.
See, I
And
was
just
gonna bring this idea up too, so
educate
you and
the
I are on the same
community.
page.
No, but it just educate everybody
That
on
would
what
be fun.
agritourism is.
What it could be and how they can get it out to other people outside of
Exactly.
Have like
community.
local music or something.
Mhm.
Like I'm a genius.
You are.
Yes.
That's why you make the big bucks.
Okay.
So, so of course, I don't
You are new here.
I don't know if anybody's been outside lately, but it is fall, which means spooky season. And
Spooky.
spooky season means that we get pumpkin patches. And I know that our FADC has helped with one of the pumpkin patches, country pumpkins. And I remember sending the uh, annual report article to Paul that was written by the previous FADC director. And in it, it said that they were able to produce like 9,000% more than the previous year. And he was like, oh, that can't be right. That's a mistake, right? And I was like, no, no, that was real. So 9,000% more people. Like, this is what
And
can happen.
I mean, that sounds astronomical because they started out so small.
Yes.
And, they got
And the
this,
deer
they were
kept
able,
eating all of their pumpkins.
yeah. So there were factors that went into that. But I mean, they still, it was a astronomical increase
Yeah.
in pumpkins, and they're still going strong, aren't they?
They're still going very, very strong. And so to see a business like that, and that is pretty much basically strictly agritourism, right? Like people are coming out there picking a pumpkin. Like that is
That is
quintessential agritourism.
my Midwest heart. I know there's a couple out here, but I want to see more corn mazes.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
There's one in Great Falls. I'm
I
going to it this
know.
weekend.
I love corn mazes.
Okay, I
and
need the
hay rides.
address.
I think it's in Craig, not Great Falls, but
Yeah, it's outside of Falls.
we'll be going there.
Love me a good corn maze.
Very excited. I've never been in a corn maze, and I've only seen Children of the Corn, so I'm a little terrified, but
It is. I mean, yeah, it gets a little spooky if you get lost in there and everything.
oh god.
Oh, who's doing it? Oh, I did. I guess in high school. I played in the cornfield tonight, but yeah, that's different.
It's a little bit.
Yeah, don't run through a cornfield, guys. It's not comfortable.
Especially if but you might have to if someone's chasing you with, farm equipment.
Hopefully, this
Bear with the farm equipment.
hopefully the one in Craig does not have people chasing you.
Seeing as we're taking the 4 and 6-year-old, I hope that there's no one chasing us. It
I'm
might be
assuming.
them. I don't know. We'll see.
You might be, you might be chasing
I'll
them.
be chasing the children.
So, how do you hope that the FADC here at Bear Paw is going to continue to bridge that gap between our local producers and our local ag individuals and that general market that is going out there? How do you want to bridge that gap to make sure that we're keeping these resources in Montana? I guess is the question in so many words.
Yes. So, to bridge that gap, I mean, it's all going to be about connections and going out and making these connections with all the different individuals, and then people being open to just new ideas. I'm going to throw a lot of really crazy stuff at people, and most of it's not going to stick. But we know that the producers in this area are the experts, so they're being able to listen to crazy ideas that I might have. Just just go with me. Be like, oh, she's adorable and has no idea what she's talking about. But maybe there's a kernel of something in all of those. And then being able to, work with us, um, bring all these opportunities. I mean, if you're one individual, if you reach out, I already have a list of all the things that you want and you need. I'll keep my eye open. I've already been emailing people different grant opportunities that we hadn't even been discussing yet, just to see if that's something that they're interested in. So I guess just being able to make connections, keep connections, you know, try to work together as much as we can and just see what sticks. And even if it doesn't stick or if we apply for something, you don't get it, just know that I'm gonna be right there sending you more opportunities and maybe we just revamp something and we'll make it work.
Yeah, I like that. And I like that you brought up just like throwing ideas out there, until something sticks, because I feel like, especially those of us that have grown up around here, sometimes we get stuck in that rut of like, well, we've tried everything, and we need someone that can come in and just say, well, have you tried this and 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 this? And even if we're like, oh, that's a lot and won't work here, that's great, but maybe something will. Maybe there will be some little spark that they're like, "Oh, no, we haven't tried that. Let's jump on it."
My mantra in economic development is the worst they can say is no,
Yep.
Right?
might as well try.
The worst that can happen is it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And it's not like I've ever heard no before. I mean,
And yeah, and there are limited grant opportunities for this kind of an
100%.
industry. However, one of the main ones for ag it's going to open up soon. Do you want to talk a little bit of growth through ag?
absolutely. Actually, so Growth Through Ag is the pre-application is already open. Yep, it closes on November 10th, so we have a little bit of time. But Growth Through Ag is such a wonderful opportunity. It's one of the few grants where if you need a shed built or you need more equipment, you can use this grant for that.
And let's be very clear, there is like 0 grants out there for things like equipment.
0.
So, if you need something like that, jump on it.
Mm-hmm.
Jump on it. That's huge.
It absolutely is. Like you said, there's very few opportunities for equipment. And then this one is up to 50,000 for a grant. If you need more, there's $100,000 for a loan on top of it. Nice thing too is this is a state grant, and pretty much every grant that you are going to apply for is going to ask for a match. So you'll pay for half of that equipment that you were hoping for. They'll pay for half of that equipment, up to 50,000 or 150,000, depending what you're applying for.
Right.
But you can also use this because it is through the state to match for federal grants, like the other one that's coming up in November, which is VAPG, which is the Value Added
Producer
Producer
grant.
Grant. Yep. Learning my acronyms.
I know. We speak in acronyms here, and we've had to do that with every episode that we've hosted. Every day we just I don't know how anybody understands what we're saying, so we have to be very cognizant when we're doing this of like saying the acronyms.
I don't know if you were given one when you started here, but when I started here, I was given a whole spreadsheet of acronyms that was printed out for me, and I was like, "How will I ever learn these?" And now I have to like stop and go, "Okay, I know what I'm talking about, but what does it mean?"
Right? Well, when I first started, the first thing I did was go to a meeting with all the other FADC directors. And let me tell you, that was acronym city.
I bet.
And I didn't understand any of them. They're throwing acronyms out here and there, and me being the snot that I am. So I was like, well, I'm going to throw out my own acronyms and see if anybody else understands them.
Did you make them up?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I used to half the room was like, what are you talking about?
yeah. I actually do know what you're talking about. Oh, yeah, it's fun. Sometimes I just start talking about something or like giving a presentation and I look around and there's just the 1,000-yard stare and people are like, what? Like, what are these words?
I know I'm teaching a grant writing class tomorrow and trying to put together all of the content. I have to stop and be like, okay, you got to break it down further because no one's going to understand this. You're speaking in gibberish. It's frustrating though because you get so used to it. So you're learning them now, but you'll be fluent in them in 6 months. So
Well, and as long as we follow the KISS protocol, we'll be set. Mhm.
tell us a little bit more about Grow Through Ag. I think I cut you off there. So
Just that it's an opportunity. There'll be about 30 businesses funded through the state.
that's quite a few.
It is quite a few. So there's ample opportunity. You're going to start off with a pre-application, so it's not even the full application. So they'll invite you to apply for the full application if this is a product that they're interested in. And like I said, you can use this to match other grants as well. So, the grant field, especially with food and agriculture, is all about mixing and matching different funding sources, different avenues. You might not necessarily have the cash to match, but you'll have other grants. And then over time, you'll build up more and more and then be able to do some really amazing projects because it's all about growing.
I love it.
And the pre-application is not difficult.
No.
I will say though, I have helped people with the full application because after the full application, then you are invited to the Agriculture Development Council meeting, and the producer has to present their grant and everything that what they're wanting to do. And it was a fascinating process, but the main grant is a lot. They really want to see everything that this person's doing. So anybody who is interested in utilizing this, take advantage of Amy. Like, come in, let her help you because why do this on your own when you're doing it?
I was going to say, I'm going to get paid either way, so you might as well use me.
And then you get to go present your project and hear about all the other exciting projects around the state. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed that too.
And steal their ideas and use them as yours.
Right?
Well, I think that a lot of people feel, and I'm torn on this, right? So, grant writing, you need to have a very clear idea of what your project is. That doesn't mean that they need to come to you with a very clear idea. They need to come to you with an idea and you can help them clear it up so you can put it in a grant proposal.
Absolutely. Well, and that's the first question I ask people. What is exciting to you? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to take this? Like, if you had endless amount of money, what would you do? Because that's the place you start with.
Yeah. And what's your ultimate end goal? And then going back from there to go, all right, well, let's start here. This is your next step.
And yeah, I'd like to one day have a bigger shed. Okay, well, there's a goal.
Yeah.
Let's work on that.
Find some
Let's
land. Let's get a
this.
shed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What are those barriers to keep you from selling your product in Billings or Bozeman or Missoula? What is your barrier from selling even outside the state?
So, just looking ahead, what are some of your goals in your new role here with our Food and Ag Development Center?
Yes. So, um, I have a couple that I've actually been working on because I am a very goal-oriented person. It keeps me motivated and it keeps me working. So the first one is to really connect with and build trust with our farmers and our producers and to maintain that trust. Another one is to bridge the gap between all of our community and our farmers so that we all have more opportunities and work closer together. Community is a really, really big focus for me. It's something that's actually been key in all of my different things that I've done. I want to live in a world where we all help each other and we work as a community. That life goal, thank God it aligns with work goal.
It does. I love that. And I think it's honestly a great place to end on because you nailed it on the head. We love having you here.
Yeah, we really enjoyed that. That was a great conversation about introducing you to the world of North Central Montana as our new FADC director. Um, we're so excited that you're here on the Bear Paw team, and we can't wait to see all of the amazing projects with food and ag that you're gonna just bring to life out here.
Absolutely. And for all of our listeners, if you're a producer or an entrepreneur or just a small business owner with an idea connected to food and agriculture, which, as we have stated, could be so many things, if you have any questions about if you would be a good match, reach out to Amy over here at Paw Development. She's here to help.
And thanks for tuning in to Bear With Us, where we highlight all of the people, places, and projects that make North Central Montana thrive.
Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes and share this one with anyone passionate about Montana agriculture.
And as always, thanks for bearing with us.